Hi everyone, welcome back to The Nature Patch. My name is Robyn and thank you so much for joining in on another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different to a lot of the other ones. I've been wanting to do a video like this for a while where Scott and I just sit down and have a chat and get you all on the same page about some of our dreams and goals for the next 5 years. We had a few questions from Instagram and YouTube and we thought we would just sit down and have a catch up. So that's what today's video is going to be. But because I want to be a garden channel and I want a lot of the content to revolve around gardening, I thought I would give you a little bit of a sneak peek at what the garden is looking like at the moment. I am going to be filming a garden tour tomorrow morning when the light is nice and I have watered everything and everything's looking a little bit more perky. Right now some things are looking a little droopy after we had 28 degrees today. It's getting warm very fast. So I really hope you enjoy today's video and the next few clips of what the garden is looking like, and that you kind of get to know us a little bit more and what our plans are for the future. I'm joined today with a special guest. This is Scott, my partner, and we're going to sit down and chat through a few questions that we've received on Instagram and YouTube.
You might have to forgive us, we do have some spectators in the form of cats looking at us.
The cats are very intrigued and really want to be a part of this conversation. Unfortunately, they're going to stay inside while we're out here. So I've got my cup of hot cacao today, trying to calm down a little bit because I also just did something that I really didn't mean to do, literally just half an hour ago, where I deleted all of the footage from an amazing video that I just filmed. It was a beautiful harvest vlog, harvesting baskets of carrots and beetroots and broccoli, greens, basically everything in the garden. And I just deleted it all by accident. I formatted the card and everything is gone, but it's okay because we have the food. I had an enjoyable afternoon. I just don't have anything to show for it now, except a few photos that I did manage to keep. So I'll put one on the screen here, and I definitely will keep filming some harvest vlogs because I know you all love watching those videos. And I do see all of those comments, so I will get another one filmed. And definitely save the footage straight away. So we've got some questions here from Instagram and YouTube, and I'm someone, I don't know about you, but I love to think about the future and I love to dream and I love to set goals and work towards something. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's always good to have dreams. Gives you something to look forward to. It's probably a good idea that we also have small dreams, little dreams that keep us going in the meantime until we can start achieving more of what we want to do.
We've come from a very different kind of background, I feel, in terms of what we wanted in life. I feel like maybe it took you a little bit more time to understand kind of what you really valued and what you then desire in your life.
I never really had any career goal that I specifically wanted. I just knew I wanted to have a family and I wanted to have some land that I could live on, and I didn't really care what else I was doing during that, which it kind of aligns well with what you want.
Yeah, so I've pretty much always thought about my future and what I want in life, and we'll go through that in today's video. And I wanted this video more to be an opportunity for both us to chat about our kind of dreams and goals, but also a reminder that it is awesome and amazing to write down your dreams and write down your goals and have something to look forward to in life. For me personally, I am very connected to nature and connected to the environment, so a lot of those goals, no surprise, will be related to that. But I think now in particular, I know this week has been very challenging for me. Being a scientist and working in conservation, seeing things like the IPCC report and having to review that as my job and applying that to my research. Again, with the big situation happening in the world right now being a pandemic, also has put me in a pretty down mood, I feel. I know everyone's affected by that, us included, and I wanted this afternoon to just look forward to the future because it's so scary and it's unknown, but I think it is always important to remember your values, remember what you're dreaming, and yeah, that's what we're going to discuss today. The first question that I have here from one of our favourite couples, Diane and Samson, who ask, have you both thought about what's next once you finish your PhD? So, yeah.
Yes, we have.
Yeah. So I'm currently finishing off my PhD. I've got about 2 chapters left to write. All of my research is kind of done. It's just the writing is really hard, and it's really hard to be creative when you've got a pandemic going on. A lot of my fieldwork was cancelled, so it was definitely extended and went longer than it should have and is still going. I will probably finish up in about October. And then after that, I do have work here that kind of keeps me in this area. But then we are thinking of moving. We're not going to say where we're moving to yet, but we do have an area in mind, and it's an area that I have wanted to live in that vicinity for basically my whole life. There was another question here from Eric who asked, how close are you guys to getting your own homestead, which I feel like is kind of in line with that other question.
Hopefully soon, and that maybe in a few years we'll be able to own our own home. It's definitely a long process to try and buy a house, especially in this current time. We just didn't want to buy a house that we didn't really love or that we didn't want to actually live in just for the sake of buying a house. We are fortunate that we're able to live in places where we can save a bit more money and we can have that opportunity to save and buy a house, which a lot of people don't have that opportunity. But moving forward, our main focus is saving money wherever we can. We've got spreadsheets, budgets all set up to try and optimize how much money we can save. I mean, we both don't really live super lavishly anyway. We don't have really high requirements for life. As long as we got a few cats and some veggies, we're good to go.
Yeah, we're definitely frugal people, I would say. Me particularly.
You probably a little bit more.
I feel guilty buying anything except seeds and plants some of the time. Yeah. So yeah, I think we are going to be saving money for another 1.5 years, and then we're going to look for our dream property, and we're going to take you along the way, show you the places that we're looking at, the areas, and yeah, chat through a few more things that we would like to see within our homestead / property. So where we're moving to after I finish my PhD, probably at the end of this year. Not sure when we're going to do that yet, but we will be having a massive garden at wherever we move to, and showing again how you can grow lots of food in a rental property. We're definitely going to keep making videos all about gardening. Yeah, so hopefully should be some fun vlogs in the future. So I'm going to move on to another question from Danny. So she had a comment and she asked a few questions, but one of them being, what's the farm animal that you want most? What's yours?
I think it's hard to choose, very hard to choose. I think chickens, at least to start, just because I've always wanted to have chickens, get fresh eggs, and just I like having chickens.
I love chickens as well. That's my most wanted farm animal, I would say. I have thought about getting chickens in the backyard here, but it's not logistically possible when you live in someone else's house, bringing in animals. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and it wouldn't work here. But when we do get chickens, I definitely want quite a few, and I'm excited to name them all like
After old ladies.
old lady names. No offense if you have an old lady name, but I love old lady names, you know, like the traditional old-fashioned style names. That's what I'm about.
A close second would be obviously a dog as well. We definitely want to get a dog at some point. A nice cattle dog or a German Shepherd would be kind of what we're looking for, but honestly any dog as long as it suits us.
That might be the next thing that we look into. So another question here that I really like, this question is again from Eric, is what do you think is the best way to get people involved in gardening and sustainability? I don't think there's any way to get people involved if they don't want to. I think firstly having a conversation with someone, understanding their values and beliefs is really important. A lot of people do have sustainability and, you know, the environment in kind of their brains right now. So it is often a value that a lot of people have. So once you know that someone's interested in the environment and sustainability and want to be a part of that kind of sphere, then I think there's a few different ways that you can get people involved. And I think my favorite way probably is just to take people on nature walks and to get connected with nature, find the ways in which they do connect to nature best, because that's just going to feed that value and that belief and desire to maybe partake in something like gardening or being more sustainable. Because I kind of think Scott wasn't probably into gardening before, you know, we got together. Was there something on your radar that you were doing every weekend?
It was definitely not something that I was doing, but it was always something that, like Robyn said, I valued and I found interesting, and I always enjoyed the aesthetics of gardens and especially veggie gardens. But it wasn't until I met you that I actually started doing it for myself, and it's a whole nother level of enjoyment you get to have.
Yeah.
I think just showing people things that you've grown as well is always a good way to make people see that it's like, you know, it's possible. You know, people see it on TV or online, lots of people growing stuff, but when they actually see it physically in front of them, it's a lot more, I guess, motivational for them if they want to start growing stuff.
I think maybe just asking someone or whoever you're talking to, maybe like what's your favorite vegetable or what's your favorite fruit, and then finding somewhere where you can get fresh produce, so maybe like your local farmers or food boxes, and just showing them what organic produce can taste like, what that connection between nature feels like, being able to, you know, eat straight from the ground and, you know, be able to pick something themselves. So pick your own farms are always a way to kind of get that spark going with people, rather than just going to the grocery store, going to the cold section and buying that fruit and veg. Maintaining that connection between nature, I think, is just, really important and really kind of kickstarts that spark for people's interest in being a bit more sustainable and gardening. And these are all, which we're both very passionate about, is more kind of passive ways of kind of getting people involved rather than shoving things down their throat or forcing them to read articles, forcing them to watch, you know, videos. Been there, done that, doesn't work. And that's why YouTube is so great, because I can just film what I love and my connection to nature and my connection to gardening, and hope that it inspires people and we can kind of create a space to share. And I think that definitely inspires me to do YouTube videos and share everything that we grow.
I think as well, just quickly, I think it's important to acknowledge people have different circumstances and live in different scenarios. You can't apply the same method to everyone. Someone who lives in a small apartment with no space at all isn't going to be able to, you know, go outside, dig a hole and grow a whole bunch of veggies. They're going to have to start small and find some other way to. So just acknowledging that people have different ways of achieving sustainability.
I'm really not great with technology because I had more questions from Instagram, but I forgot to save them. So I vaguely remember what they are. One of them I know was kind of what our 5-year plan is and like where we see ourselves in 5 years. So maybe we'll take turns on this one. Do you want to go first?
Sure. 5 years. As we already said, we probably want to have a house by then. Hopefully have had a house for a while and had enough time to really put our mark on the land that we have. I would like to eventually be able to be self-sufficient with our veggies and what we grow, so that we don't have to really ever go to a supermarket for vegetables and things like that. I mean, if Robyn's up for it, we'd probably want to get married at some point.
If I'm up for it.
You know, who knows? You might change your mind.
Maybe. We'll see.
So I'd say maybe towards the end of that, even looking at having kids. I think we both want a few kids. We both want to have a family.
Yeah, I'm all pretty much on those lines. We've spoken a lot about our 5-year goals and 5-year dreams, and definitely one of that is having a house. And I've spoken a little bit before about what my dream looks like and what I see in the future. And in 5 years, I would just, love to have a property, a fairly large one. We'll see how we go.
We'll see.
But I would just love to be able to buy some kind of degraded farm or degraded landscape and fix it up. I love a challenge. I love a good challenge. So I work on rehabilitating mine sites where we've got large expanses of bare land, basically, sometimes has toxic metal problems or different forms of pollution, just a lot of problems, low organic matter. Could get into the topic of mine sites and go on and on, but I just find it really interesting taking a piece of degraded land, whether that be like an ex-dairy farm or sheep farm. There are just so many farms in Australia. This is a very big country. And just a lot of them are not managed the way they should. So being able to recover and regenerate land is something that is in my vision. Also having kids, family, marriage, all of that as well. But also I would love to keep doing YouTube. And there's a few things that we're doing right now that are kind of moving that timeline on a little bit and kind of progressing with the nature patch. One of them being we're going to be hopefully soon, when I get my act into gear, keeping in mind I'm really not great with technology. That's this one is good at that side of things. But we're going to be releasing or launching a website soon, where we're going to have just so much information for you all in terms of free blog posts. There's going to be free resources on there, and hopefully eventually an opportunity for kind of a members area, whether that is either on YouTube or on a website, where I can kind of give even more value and have an opportunity for people to chat and get to know each other and revolve that space around connecting to nature and being able to garden with nature as well. So that's also on the cards and hopefully coming really soon. And just growing lots of food, planting lots of plants. That's just, the goal. And being able to work from home is always my dream. So
that's a big one.
Hopefully we can both be doing that, and continuing kind of generating an income on our property rather than kind of relying on other sources for that. We're slowly working towards that. So exciting times. So that's about all of the questions that we'll do. I have one more question that I'm going to ask Scott. And also I'm going to pose this question to everyone watching this as well. If you've made it this far, hopefully you've enjoyed getting to know us a little bit more if this video did that, and what our goals and dreams are for the next 5 years or so. My question is, how do you connect to nature and how does it make you feel?
I'm a simple man.
Simple man.
I do what most people do to connect to nature, and that is going into nature. I find it incredibly hard to feel connected to a landscape like a city, which is, again, no offense meant to anyone who loves being in a city. I just never really found it to be something that I enjoy. I like being able to hear the wind go through the trees. I like to be able to hear birds. I think that's a big part, is just listening to the sounds, because when you actually stop and listen to all the sounds of nature, you hear a lot. Just feel that connection to something bigger than yourself. That
How does it make you feel?
calm,
Yeah.
which is probably the most standard answer, I'd say, but nothing more calming than just listening to the wind and the birds. I think it just puts things in perspective. Your little problems don't seem such a big deal once you realize how insignificant you are when it comes to the whole world. And
Yeah, so I think for me right now, connecting to nature is just really important. And it's something also that isn't changing, isn't so volatile. I mean, not talking about climate change, but just your surroundings and your natural environment around you is definitely a refuge for me. And just going on a simple walk in nature, even if that's just a park, or just looking out at the sky, looking at the birds and animals around, can really, really improve your mental health right now. So I'm definitely feeling for everyone who is in lockdowns. We've just come out of one. And yeah, I just think it's a really important thing to do right now, and definitely grounds me when I'm in nature. And yeah, hopefully it does you as well. So I think that is about it for today. If you've got any more questions, make sure to leave them down below, and we can do another one maybe in the future. But yeah.
was that a question?
No. But thank you for coming out and being on the video. And I'm kicking myself that I lost the footage of the other one. So this video is going to come out before a harvest vlog is. But hopefully I can get out and film some more garden content over the next week or so. So thank you so much for watching. And until my next video, happy gardening, everyone.
Bye.